One person can change the world for another person. Kim Lee.
Welcome to the Simply Retirement Podcast with your host, Eric Blake. This show offers valuable insights and advice on retirement planning, specifically tailored for women. Join us as we explore various challenges that arise during retirement planning and discuss practical ways to overcome them. With years of experience in retirement planning as a financial professional, Eric brings a wealth of knowledge to the table. He is joined by guests who will also offer unique perspectives and insights. Together, they provide practical tips and strategies to help you delegate some of the heavy lifting and make the most of your retirement. Whether you are a widow, divorced, or simply ready to take control of your financial future, this podcast is designed to help you navigate the complexities of retirement planning and make the most of this exciting phase of life. We take a step-by-step approach to help you understand what's next and guide you through the retirement planning journey. So sit back, relax, and let us help you build your retirement on your terms with another episode of the Simply Retirement Podcast with Eric Blake.
Welcome to the Simply Retirement Podcast with your host, Eric Blake. I'm Wendy McConnell. So, Eric, what is this quote about?
This quote is actually from our guest. We got our first guest on the Simply Retirement Podcast. And this is a quote she gave me. She was at our International Women's Day event we did back in March. She shared her bio. She was actually, we gave an hour of her time away, and we'll get into what she does here in just a sec. But this was a quote that she had when she shared her information. I thought it was pretty cool, so I went with it.
I like it. And she's here with us today. So why don't you go ahead and introduce Kim?
Absolutely. So, at the end of each episode, we hear the phrase, retirement is not the end of the road. It's the start of a new journey. But we want to make sure that journey for women, we want that to be healthy and we want that to be happy. And it's not just about quantity of your life, it's about quality of life. And today we have somebody that can help with that. Today our guest is Kim Lee. Kim is a personal trainer. And as she and I have discussed, we work with very similar demographics in our own areas of expertise. Women that are either in or near retirement, and in many cases, they're ready to make a change, or they have some life experience, some life transition, and that's resulted in them asking for some type of guidance. And I've known Kim for about 5 years or so now, and she is one of the best personal trainers out there. She also has a very interesting story on how she got to where she is. And she also deals with nutrition, mindset. She was a competitive bodybuilder. She was a retired Texas peace officer, and she's even a U.S. Army Reserve veteran. So, Kim, welcome to the Simply Retirement Podcast. Kim Lee.
Thank you, Eric. I love that intro.
I do my best.
I listen to that and I'm like, I've done a lot.
You have. It's pretty impressive. I would love for you to hear more about, a little bit more about your background, how you got into personal training, how'd you get to where you are today. And the other thing is Kim actually has her own little retirement scenario going here. So if we have time, we might hop into that and tell us what's triggered that and what you're looking forward to about your own retirement.
Well,
tell us about your background.
I mean, I'm excited to share. Life is just a series of steps, isn't it? One step leads to another. And, when I was in high school, actually from the age of 12, I wanted to be a police officer. That was my dream. So when I was a junior in high school, I joined the Army Reserve. And 4 days after high school graduation, shipped off to boot camp, sitting in my bunk over in New Jersey going, what kind of decision did I make? All my friends are at the beach, they're having fun, but I made a decision that impacted my future at every turn. And I served my country, and it has continued to serve me well throughout the years. But I did that because I wanted to be a police officer. And I knew, especially as a woman back in the 80s, that would serve me well going into the military first. So I did. And then I had a great career as a police officer, 25 years, retired back in 2015. And I enjoy serving. It's in my DNA to help other people. And you opened with a quote, we change the world by helping one person at a time, basically is the way I look at it. And if I can leave that person with a smile or a better disposition than when I met with them, then I've done good. And when I retired in 2015, it was a natural transition to move into personal training. I had started actually competing, and then when I retired, started working for a big box gym and did that for about a year and a half. Then I went on my own. And there's another quote that is so very true, and that is, enthusiasm is caught, it is not taught. And the vibe, the energy, right? So, and being genuine and authenticity do not lie. And I think that's so very important in every aspect of life. So that leads us up to kind of where we are today.
Very good. So what department did you serve in when you were in the
So
office?
I started my career down in Hayes County, San Marcos,
Okay.
and retired out of McKinney back in 2015. Worked for a few agencies there in between. Met my husband and my kid's dad at one of the agencies we worked at together. So that leads us up to our next big pivot in life, and that would be retirement and moving to Mexico, our next big move.
Wow. So we don't have to spend a whole lot of time on that, but I'm just curious, what is it you're looking forward to most as you make this transition?
I think letting go of things I find that personally bind me. And yet it's a dichotomy, because the material things, and again, speaking for me, that I have, some of them are representation of my success, my achievement, where I'm at in life. And in this pivot and in this transition, wow, we're letting go of a lot of those material things. And we're just going to go, and my goal is to be stress free, right? Much less stress, and to live and to breathe and just experience life.
So what worries you the most?
Letting go. Yeah. Letting go excites me, and letting go scares me a little bit, because I'm letting go of what I know and what kind of in a sense here motivates me, and my comfort, and I'm stepping into the unknown, and not only for country, but living outside of America and our comforts we have here.
Excellent.
Does
So
that make sense?
yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you this. So as someone who has spent their majority of their life, I'm sure, staying physically active, eating well. I mean, obviously, if you're going to be a competitive bodybuilder, that comes with the territory. But what do you feel like are the biggest challenges that women face if they're either getting into retirement or approaching retirement, when it comes to maintaining their health and their wellness, their longevity from that point forward?
Well, I think time is one big challenge, and prioritizing themselves. That is what I see time and time again, is everything else is on the schedule except ourselves, right? Every other investment we have, we have carved out some time for that, and we have to live in this body for the rest of our lives. And it's, making it a priority, I see as challenging. And not only, I'm not saying that is what most women choose to do. No, it is that so many times we come behind doing everything else, doing the job, taking care of the kids, taking care of the family, right? Doing everything. And then if there's time, I'm gonna get to me down here at about 6:30 p.m. after I make dinner for everybody, or maybe 7 p.m. And what happens is we never do get there, because life takes over. And that is something I coach on, frequently. And that is, get that calendar, and let's put ourselves at the start of our day and get that investment, our self-care, right, taken care of. And then another is, and it goes hand in hand, like women, we tend to live longer than men.
Absolutely.
And so, and especially if we are working on and investing in our mental health and our physical health, we're going to live even longer. And that's the goal, right? The goal is to live a longer, healthier life, have a quality of life. And in doing that, well, those financial preparations and things we put in place need to be able to live that long life with us.
Well, I think it's interesting that there's such a link that some people think about it, some people don't, but there's such a link between the money aspect of retirement and the health aspect. Because if you don't take care of one, the other's probably going to be impacted. The opposite is going to be impacted.
Absolutely. And you've heard it, you fail to plan to fail, right? Well, and the same thing for retirement. You fail to prepare to fail, prepare to not be ready, to not be in that place we all desire to be. And that for me and my husband is to go live on the beach, retire and go live on the beach. We've worked so hard and for so long, go do it.
So how do you intend on prioritizing your own health? Obviously, with your schedule's changing, life's going to be different. You're going to be in a different location. What do you do, or what are your intentions to try to maintain that healthy lifestyle and your own longevity?
Well, I go into it with a goal of 80-20. Let me explain 80-20. 80% of the time, I am on my game. 20% of the time, I'm not on my game. All right. I'm giving myself a little bit of latitude. And that goes with nutrition and physical fitness. But I know that going into this environment I'm going into, and I was talking about this today, I've already got friends out there. Here's what they're telling me. We're out eating dinner again tonight, Kim, at this restaurant. Yeah, having drinks over here, so I know what they're doing. And I'm like, okay. So I'm not saying I can't go out to eat. Of course we can. But I've got to be selective. You can eat healthy when you go out to eat, and do my best to stick to my 80-20. Because, and here's another quote I throw out there all the time, you can either sacrifice for what you want or sacrifice what you want. There's one key word in there, and that's for, and that separates the two. So same thing with my fitness game. That's my community. That's where I feel at home. That's where I get my energy. Helping other people gives me energy. It's in my DNA. A guy told me that at the gym the other day, and that made such sense to me. It is in my DNA to plug into other people and watch them illuminate like a light bulb. That's what happens when I plug into them and I listen to them and I help them achieve or tap into potential they didn't even know they had. Then they illuminate. And so I'm going to put myself at the top of my schedule. I was talking about that a minute ago, right? My self-care is going to be prioritized. And, I find fitness fun. So I've already planned, I'm going to get involved in pickleball. I'm going to be playing tennis. I'm going to be walking into the gym going, Tejas is in the house. You know me, Eric. I'll make friends right and left as soon as I get there, but it'll be good. It'll be good.
Well, that's one of the things that, we see a lot is that as women are making that transition, and, people in general, but women, because we deal with women on a more consistent basis, that as they make that transition out of the workforce into retirement is losing that sense of community. So what would be, one piece of advice you would have for somebody who's making that transition, who wants to, whether they've been on the health journey or they're just getting into the health journey, what would you advise? What would be one piece of advice you would give that person as they make it such a big transition out of the work world into retirement and, again, maintaining that self-care?
There's Facebook groups, there's so many groups on social media, people we know, right? Get referrals, ask questions, find a trainer who can help. But, I also have advice there. Don't just walk into a gym and be assigned a trainer. No, I would advise go in and watch how they work. And are they plugged into their clients? Are they paying attention? But to network, networking is huge in life in general, but in each community, fitness as well. And to get plugged in and reach out.
What would you say if somebody was ready to make getting on the path to wellness, and they were looking to hire a personal trainer? What would be just a few characteristics, things you would have them look for?
I would have them, well, I'm going to go back to kind of what I was talking about a minute ago, to look for genuine attentiveness, to obviously watch for the skill and the knowledge that the trainer has while working. I mean, you can't replace watching a trainer work. And if they have a recommendation or a referral from somebody, that's even better. But not all trainers are the same. They're different, just like any other profession. Some are better, some are not. And to take your time in selecting one. But a client trainer relationship is very intimate, in that you talk about vulnerable. The trainer's plugging into your weaknesses and your strengths. And mindset coaching, it's not just physical, it's mental and everything about it. That's why my business, Total Body Fitness by Kim, it's total body. The mind, psychologically, emotionally, physiologically, everything. But I would advise, if they're looking for one, to go watch them work. Watch a few in action and go in with a recommendation if you can. And, you can always call up gyms, look at gyms online that are near you. If you're wanting to go in personally, they'll have bios on trainers, and do your research, get some knowledge. And there's also online coaching, and you can read reviews and just get as much knowledge as you can about them before you hire one.
So as you make this transition into retirement, I know we talked about it a little bit, but that you may try to maintain some level of online coaching. What is that going to look like? Is that still an intention? Have you given that any thought?
Yeah, and I am going to, because I need to. It gives me purpose. I get my energy from that. I'm very passionate about coaching, interacting, engaging, helping. So I have virtual clients right now. I'm going to keep them with me, and knowing me, I'm going to find the gym that I like over there, because I'll know the vibe as soon as I walk in, and I'll probably help a few people there as well. So right now I work a 40 to 50 hour work week. It won't look anything like that. No, I'll work maybe 5 to 6 hours a week, stay engaged. It nourishes my soul, gives me my energy. And then, I don't know, ride bikes around Mexico.
Well, with just full disclosure, I work out at the same gym that Kim trains at.
Yeah.
And as she knows, I don't talk a whole lot while I'm there, but I do pay attention. And if I were going to hire a trainer, she would be the one, because I see how she interacts with the clients that she works with. I see the passion she has, hugging everybody. Everybody loves her. So is there one final thought you would have for our audience, whether health, mental, fitness, anything in particular you would say, hey, this is something that I would like you to know?
I had a friend who did not have retirement consultation. Okay. And without that guidance, man, just kind of went out there cold and made a decision that impacted him down the road. Because sometimes a retirement choice cannot be reversed. and I'm sure you can speak to that, Eric, but I would certainly give the advice of having a counselor and guidance from a retirement professional going into retirement before we make those big decisions that impact the rest of our life.
Right.
And that as far as fitness, I have one that I do want to share here. Be authentic. And, I say fitness, I mean this in life. And if I came at my profession thinking about sales, I would be starving. I wouldn't have any client, because why? We detect that. I can detect immediately when somebody's trying to sell me. If they're authentically interested in my well-being and helping me, well then, I plug into that as well. And that's true for anything in life. So be genuine, be authentic with yourself, right? And, I had a client one day, first day it was a few days in, and it was the first day we walked out onto the weight room floor. And she said, I don't belong here. I said, no, you absolutely belong here. And the reason that was said is because she wasn't a big bodybuilder, right? With these muscles but that's not what it's about. And it's about going out there and getting your work in, getting that investment in, tapping into your potential, working hard. And every day we're after the best version of ourselves, right? And what we invest in reveals what we value. And what we value, we invest in. So I think when, Eric, when I see you out there working out, I watch you every now and then too. And I see how hard you work and you focus. But it tells me you value your health, right? You value your quality of life. People ask me, like, what is my goal with this, with physical fitness? And what do I want to do down the road? I want to be able to squat down and pick up my grandkids. I want to be able to go to the park and play. I just want to be able.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. This has been a great conversation. I enjoyed it. How can people get in touch with you? I know you're going to be retired or partially retired or whatever we're going to refer to this as, but how can people get in touch with you if they wanted to connect? I've
got my Instagram, which is Total Body Fitness by Kim. Hit me up on there anytime. It's actually, I'm going to be a little more active on there with a different version of life that's going on over there, but still, obviously, fitness is at the top of my list. And then, Kimberly Ann Lee on Facebook. I get, most of my clients that I have or have had in the past, Facebook is the local pool, right? So yeah, anytime.
Perfect.
So Eric, how can people get a hold of you if they have any questions?
They can reach us at www.blakewealthmanagement.com. We've got a lot of free resources on there. We've got our Start Here button, which you can see our exact process for how we help our prospective clients make educated and informed decisions about our firm. We would love to help people, women specifically, make that transition into a healthy, long lifestyle in retirement.
Okay. Well, thank you, Eric. Thank you, Kim. It was great to learn all about you today. And thank you for joining us. Please like, follow, and share this podcast with your friends. Until next time, I'm Wendy McConnell.
That's it for today's episode of the Simply Retirement Podcast. We hope you found our insights and advice helpful in planning for a fulfilling retirement. Don't forget to take action on what you've learned today. Visit our website at blakewealthmanagement.com to learn more about our firm and review our Simply Retirement Roadmap process to get you on the right path to the retirement you deserve. And don't forget to click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and we look forward to helping you achieve your retirement goals. Remember, retirement is not the end of the road, it is the start of a new journey. So embrace it and make the most of it. Until next time, take care. Content here is for illustrative purposes and general information only. It is not legal, tax, or individualized financial advice, nor is it a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any specific security, or engage in any specific trading strategy. Results will vary. Past performance is no indication of future results or success. Market conditions change continuously. This commentary reflects the personal opinions, viewpoints, and analyses of Blake Wealth Management. It does not necessarily represent those of RFG Advisory, Private Client Services, their clients, or their employees. This commentary should not be regarded as a description of advisory services provided by Blake Wealth Management or RFG Advisory, or performance returns of any client. The views reflected in the commentary are subject to change at any time without notice. Securities offered by registered representatives of Private Client Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered by investment advisory representatives of RFG Advisory, a registered investment advisor. Private Client Services, Blake Wealth Management, and RFG Advisory are unaffiliated entities. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where RFG Advisory and its representatives are properly licensed or exempt from licensure. No advisory services may be rendered by RFG Advisory unless a client agreement is in place.